Hi, this is Olga Speaks directly from Vancouver, Canada, and in today's video I want to cover CELPIP Speaking Tasks 5 to 8. In my previous video I talked about CELPIP Speaking Task 1 to 4, and this second video is the continuation of the first video. So if you haven't watched the first video, please check it out. I'm including the link up here, so just make sure to check it out and to watch the whole block about CELPIP Speaking Test. So I passed my CELPIP speaking right here in Vancouver, Canada, and I did it for immigration reasons, applying for my permanent residency here in Canada. And on this channel, I'm sharing all of my tips and tricks that help me get the best points and the best results in my speaking test. So let's dive deeper into the tasks. And on the screen, you can see the list of the tasks for CELPIP speaking. So task 5 is comparing and persuading. It consists of 2 parts. You'll get 60 seconds for preparation and 60 seconds for speaking. Task 6 is dealing with a difficult situation. You'll get 60 seconds for preparation and 60 seconds for speaking. Task 7 is expressing opinions. You'll get 30 seconds for prep and 90 seconds for speaking. And task 8 is describing an unusual situation. Here you'll get 30 seconds for prep and 60 seconds for speaking. Task 5 is comparing and persuading. The main goal of this task is to persuade the other person, the person behind the screen, to agree with your opinion and provide good reasoning for it. So you'll get 60 seconds for preparation and 60 seconds for speaking. As you get into task 5, you'll see on the screen there are 2 pictures and you will be supposed to make a choice between 2 pictures. So my advice here is pick the picture that you actually like most, that you feel more confident about, because if you don't make this choice, the computer will make the choice for you automatically, and you don't want to do that. You want to be able to make the choice, right? So the structure that you should be following when thinking about your answer is keep 3 things in mind. The first one is introduction. You have to start with presenting your statement, presenting your idea, right? The second part is providing your statements, providing your reasoning as to why you think so. And the last part is drawing the conclusion. So basically summarizing what you have mentioned before and drawing a conclusion from it. So the examiners have a very sharp eye, and they are very sharp ear in this case, and they're looking very closely for this structure to be very cohesive and coherent. And so you should be following the structure and structuring your answer in accordance with this theme, right? So first goes introduction, then goes the reasoning, the main part, and the conclusion. So here are some tips once you're dealing with task 5. So in the first part, you're supposed to make a choice. To see the task, just read and understand the situation. So read through, what are they talking about? What's the situation like? Come up with your reasoning, right? Think of how you are going to explain as to why you've chosen this idea to support, and then back it up. Also use specific language structure to support your opinions and justify your choice, as well as descriptive adjectives and comparisons in order to make your speech more sophisticated. Task 6 is dealing with a difficult situation, and you get 60 seconds to prepare for this task and 60 seconds for speaking. So when looking at this task, here are some things you have to keep in mind. So first of all, be very considerate that other people have different opinions, but you have an opinion of your own, and your task here is to express that opinion, right? So you have to be rather firm and affirmative about what you're talking about. You have to be sure about what you're expressing. Don't be hesitant, right? Speak directly as it comes from your heart. You're supposed to speak directly to the person. So in the conditions, you'll be given either a name of the person, or it will be your neighbor, your community member. No matter what the story is, you have to be able to talk directly to this person, to address this person directly. And the last thing is providing strong and effective reasoning to support your choice as to why do you think this would be the best way to go about it, right? So think of those reasons. Maybe you're gonna have 60 seconds. Maybe put down some of the main ideas jot them down on a piece of paper, on your notes, and then you can always go back and take a look at them while you're speaking, and also make sure that you have covered everything you thought of. Task 7 is expressing opinions. You'll get 30 seconds to prepare and 90 seconds for speaking. So here, your main task is to provide reasoning for your statements. So basically, you have to be ready to back up your statements and provide examples. So elaborate on your answer. Don't just say this is right, this is wrong, but be able to explain this. Why do you think this is right and why do you think this is wrong? For each statement, you have to provide examples or details. So when you first read the question, just take a look at it and try to understand it. Try to make sure that you know what they are asking you about, and then think of the statements as to how you can answer the questions. You have to make up your mind if your answer is a yes or a no. If it's a yes, then why? If it's a no, then why? And also, one of the most important things is do not forget to use transitions in between your statements, right? So you have to be able to link your speech, to link your sentences, to link the word structures there, right? And then don't forget about very nice and smooth transitions. That will ensure that your score goes up. Task 8, CELPIP Speaking, is describing an unusual situation. So your prep time here is going to be 30 seconds and you'll get 60 seconds for speaking. And so you'll see a picture in front of you on the screen, and your main task will be to describe this unusual picture to the person who is on the other side of the screen. Right, so my tip here is just to focus on the details of the picture. Try to use as many descriptive details as possible. Look for colors, look for numbers, look for names, if there are any street names, numbers, age, anything that you can outline as the detail. So first you have to describe the general overview of the picture, and then you should dive into the details, right? The more details you provide, the better. The more statements you provide, the better. And then focus on how you are going to interlink your statements and your sentences. You can gradually make transitions from one point to the other. One of the things you should focus on is focus on describing the picture well, and then if you have somehow or another forgotten a word, or you don't know exactly like which word you should use, just use descriptive language there. So for example, you forgot the name of a driveway, just say this is a pathway for the cars to drive in, right? I'm just thinking of examples from my head, right? Start talking about the situation that you see on the screen, and remember to keep track of the timer because you only have 60 seconds, right? So you don't want to go over those 60 seconds and then be cut off suddenly, and you also don't want to say less than you're supposed to, right? So try to keep track of the time. The timer is going to be there on the screen, so you can constantly check it or just keep an eye on it, right? And then I wouldn't recommend putting down anything for this task because you only have 30 seconds for preparation, and that's really not enough. Before you start speaking, so like what really worked for me was take a deep breath in and then a breath out, and then like just say to yourself that you've got it, that it's totally fine, it's totally okay, and then go for it. So this is my advice for your speaking task. Let me know if you already passed the test. What was your hardest challenge? What was the easiest part? I've also recorded some videos on CELPIP writing and reading, which I will post here. So if you're interested in learning more details about how the writing and the reading goes, just click on those videos, check them out. I will prepare a next video on how and what to expect on your test date. So I passed my test during COVID times, and I really want to share my experience with people and make sure that there's nothing to worry about. So if you don't know what to expect, I'm here to help you. And let me know if you have any other questions. It was super nice to share everything, and have a very fun and productive week ahead. Thank you. Bye.